Hi, welcome back. Again, my name is Orlando, and in this video, I'm gonna give you a brief overview of RStudio. So first, R is what we call a statistical package. That is, it's a collection of computer software that has been designed to easily deal with all sorts of statistical tasks. So you can use R to process your data, to analyze data, to make all sorts of plots, predictions, forecasts, um, simulations as well. So I think also the best part about R is that it's completely free. So it's free to use and it's free to share your results, your programs. So everything you do in R is completely free. So that also has created a very helpful community of people who implement even the most recent methods and algorithms in statistics are usually implemented very quickly in R and distributed for free on the internet. So that's also a very big advantage of R. Okay. Now RStudio, what it does is it gives you a very convenient environment to create, edit your R code, to easily import data, to easily manage your files, your projects. So RStudio, you don't have to necessarily use RStudio if you're interested in using R, but RStudio is also a free tool that is pretty much an industry standard at this point, so you might as well use it, although you don't have to if you don't want to. Okay. Now, when you first open RStudio, hopefully you'll see something that looks more or less like this. So over here we have what we call the console or the command line. So here you can directly input commands into R. So let's say, for instance, 1 plus 2, and I hit return or enter, and R will process this and spit out the result. If there is a result or output to be printed, it will do so here on the console. Okay, and let's see, I can also maybe do log of 3, exponential of 4. So you can easily use the console as basically as a glorified calculator, although obviously it is much more capable than that. Now, at a certain point, using just the console becomes very cumbersome. You may want to easily edit different commands that you may have. You may want to easily save them and make comments to more easily understand what is going on. So usually people do not directly use the command line or console, but instead create what's called an R script. So a script is really just a file where you can write down all your different commands, and then you can either run all of them consecutively, or you can run specific portions of them. Typically, you just highlight a portion and then hit run. So for instance, let's say here I can write the commands exponential of 2, log of 5, 1 plus 3. Now I can either select everything and run everything. I can run line by line, so I put my mouse here and then hit run, 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 and you can see how the results appear over here. I can just, for instance, select these last two commands and hit run, and only those will be processed. Okay, so after I have all my commands written down over here, I can save this file. Let's see, you go over here and you can save this, let's say my file.r, so you can easily access this in the future. And also you can do things like, for instance, put comments over here. So when you start a line with a pound symbol, then everything you write over here is what we call a comment, which will be basically ignored by R essentially when you try to run it. So if I run this line, it will be ignored by R. Okay, so that's convenient to write down comments to explain what's going on in your code, so you can easily understand it in the future. Okay, so this particular script is not very useful, so I'm not going to save it, but you already know how to do that. Okay. Now, one thing I really like to do is I don't like to have a very messy console. So after a while, when I get too many outputs from different things that are no longer relevant, what I like to do is I hit Control L, and it will clear the console. So at this point, if I run a new line of code or a new set of lines of code, then I can more easily recognize what is the output without all the previous results and outputs distracting me. Okay, so that's one thing I recommend to do. Now, over here you have a bunch of different tabs. Here, the first one, Files. It allows you to easily manage your files. So when you're working on a large project, you typically will have several files. Those can be data files, several scripts, figures. So it's convenient to have access to them directly in RStudio, so you don't have to keep coming back to your Finder or Files Manager, whatever operating system you may be using. It's very convenient to have everything over here. Okay. Now over here you have plots. Here you will it will show you the most recent plot you have created. You can also access previous plots that you may have created. You can zoom in to have a better view of your plots. You can easily export your plots in whatever format it's convenient for you, say PDF or PNG or JPEG or whatever. You can clear your plots, so if you're not interested in saving in the sort of temporary memory of your computer the plots that you have created, you can erase them if you want. And over here you have a tab for packages, where you can install, update, and delete packages. So packages are really just collections of scripts and other R commands that other people may have created and made available typically online, that you can download and install, so then you can use the code that other people have created easily. And so very briefly, if you want to install a package, typically you go here on install, you write down the name of the package. So let's say package forecast, you can select it, hit install, and it will install it in a second. So in this case I already have the package, so there's nothing else to do. Okay, but that's typically the process. And over here you have the help tab, which is very useful in my experience. Over here you can search for any specific R function you may have questions about, or if you have a specific package installed with several functions, you can look them up here, or you can even look the specific package and it will give you all sorts of information on how to use let's say a specific function or the functions in a package. So let's say I'm interested in a function log, then I'll write down here log, and it will tell me everything there is to know about this function, how to use it, and all of that. And also you can find stuff inside a specific topic. So let's say I'm interested in finding the word base, and here I can easily find all the instances of the word base. Okay. And now this tab viewer, I don't quite remember what it does, to be honest. Now over here we have two very useful tabs, environment and history. So here in environment you have basically a list of all the variables and functions you have created and that are stored in memory in R. So typically you have all the variables you have created in a specific sessions, or all the way from the last time you have erased or cleared your memory. So if you have never done that, you'll have here all the variables you have ever created. I mean, unless you change specific variable, that will be updated over here as well. And you can also here easily import data. So you hit over here import, then select the most appropriate type of file. So you can easily import Excel files, .csv files. even text files with tables that have been formatted in some reasonable sense. So let's say with the columns separated by spaces or by dots. As long as it's reasonably formatted, you can typically import it easily over here, and RStudio will help you help you make sure R understands how to read the data in a specific data set that you may have somewhere in your computer. Also over here you can delete, you can clear all your variables, so you can clear your environment. And here, history, you have a list of all the commands you have run from the last time you deleted, you clear your history. So this is sort of in order of how you inputted your commands. So right over here at the end, I have the most recent commands I ran. So here I recently run exponential of 2, log of 5, all of that, and I try to install this package. So I have this here in order, in the same order I inputted the commands over here, either in the command line or on a specific script. It doesn't matter. Now, one last thing I'd like to mention: when you're working in a specific project, typically it's very useful to go ahead and go over here in session and set your working directory to whatever directory you have your data and your files on. So typically it'll say I'm here on a file called Introduction to R, so I will set my directory, my working directory, to this file so that I can more easily access all the files and import data more easily in the future. So that's one thing I really recommend. Okay, thank you.